Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another Wargaming in Miniature video. I'm going to be making two videos tonight. I got one about this website that I'm showing right here. It's a really great resource. And then I've got another video I'm going to be doing in just a few minutes talking about my Waterloo project for black powder. So come back and check that out, the Waterloo project for black powder. It's really cool. I'm going to show off some of my miniatures, and I'm also going to give you a heads up of my progress. But back to this. I stumbled upon this resource the other night when I was looking for a painting guide for a Belgian unit, I think, or I wanted to see the differences between the regiments of the French units as well. So I just came across this site and I fell in love with it, and I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to see it. I will post the link on the screen right here. Okay, I'm going to post the link right there. Make sure you go to that link and you check this out. Okay, so this website, it looks like maybe it's in French. And that's fine. This is uniforms plates for the campaigns in Belgium in 1815. Right? Because I'm doing a Waterloo campaign, and this is perfect for me. If you're doing like an 1812 or even earlier, there might be other sites for that, but I just wasn't looking for those. This is the one I found. And this has got all the nations, right? It's got England, France, the Netherlands. It's got Prussia and Dutch Belgians and the Brunswickers, the Nassaus. It's got it all. And I'll show you how I figured all this out. Now, I don't speak French, but I can piece together quite a bit of it because I recognize words and titles from like different units. But having said that, one thing you can do is once you get to this site, I just click and go to translate to English. Boom. Now you'll notice that the words here, they've been active since August 2005. There is, I use Google Translate. It's not perfectly accurate, but it really helps. All right, you got the home, which is where we're at. We're on the home. And then these tabs up here are kind of cool, but secondary. But this is the one I look at. Units, nations, right? When you click on units and nations, on the left side, you got all these nations. Now, if you're a miniature painter and you want help, like what are the collars supposed to look like? What are the cuffs supposed to look like? What are the buttons supposed to look like? If you're really interested in any of that, click over here. Now let's just take a unit. Let's look at our organization chart, and we see that we're going to have to do the first Belgian line unit, right? I got to paint that up. So once I get to my miniatures, right, I look over here to Holland because the Belgians are Holland. And then it says Dutch troops. Well, they're Dutch Belgian. Okay, and what I say, line unit? Well, look at this. There's all of these. You got line, light, militia, hussars, light dragoons, riflemen, even artillery. But ignore all this. We're going to go to line infantry. Look at all these line infantry units we've got. We got the first Belgians, the second Dutch, third Belgian, fourth Belgian, sixth Dutch. Okay, I'm going to do the first Belgian, right? That's where we said we were going to do. Okay, it pops up and it tells me that the Lieutenant Colonel Kujek. Okay, that's interesting. It tells me what corps it's in, what division it's in, and what brigade it's in. That's also cool too. But here we go. This is the most important little link right there. Uniforms, right? So we click on uniforms. Look at that right there. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so you got the pants, you got the tunics, you got the turnbacks, the collars. The turnbacks are down here, right? You got the collars, you got the cuffs, you got the color of the straps, what the drum should look like, the sashes for the officers, the epaulet colors. Excellent. But now what are we looking at? We're looking at the center companies. As you know, there are grenadier companies and there's the light companies. Now this little cockade that they show you there, that goes like right there, right? We all know that. Okay, this guy's got like gold braid where these guys have silver braid. This guy's got a wrap on his helmet, like from waterproof wrap. Okay, so let's go to the Grenadier Company and see if any of this changes. Oh, look at that. So we've got, oh, let's go back. These are chevrons for different officers, NCOs. If you have the ability to get into the details for the plaque, but most likely you won't. This is kind of important, the little orange tip of the white cord. Very important. Okay, in my opinion, that's kind of important. I do it on my figures. Okay, Grenadiers. Okay. This hasn't really changed, right? And the cross axis right there in red. Okay, this center company shows this guy wearing his bedroll over his shoulder and this guy not. But that doesn't matter. They could or they couldn't. You know, you got to kind of extrapolate a little bit, right? You got the drum. Now it shows like his epaulets are a lot different. All right, and there we've got the Grenadiers have got those poofy British style epaulet shoulder pad kind of things. And then it looks like they've got like a red cord and a red pom-pom. All right, okay. But let's look at the lights. Boom, green with green cords. But they're back to wearing the normal. Okay, hold on. Everybody, Grenadiers and the lights, all have white collars and cuffs. Okay. Now there's like a little flap with buttons right there. That's obviously the same as the tunic color on both. And he would be a sapper. A sapeur. Right? And then showing you what a corporal would look like. I'm not sure. Why is this guy's normally the sergeant here? Let's see. Chevron de sergeant is 1. Chevron de corporal is 2. That seems backwards to me. Doesn't it seem that backwards to you? Shouldn't he have like 3 stripes? Oh, I don't know. That's modern US. But yeah, you got all that. Now that's great for, go back to Holland. Then you got, let's take a militia. Dutch-Belgian militia. Right? Now I plan to be doing the 7th militia for Quatre Bras / Waterloo, right? It also kind of tells you how many men were in the unit. And, you know, what corps, what brigade, and all that. It tells you how many men are in the unit because some games concern themselves with numbers of figures. And you could figure that out. That's awesome. Uniforms. Look at that. You got the orange. You got the stovepipes. You got the field caps. Little orange tips. Looks like a silver plate. These are different pom-poms. Variants possible. Okay, so they're saying that different sources probably gave them different information. Flanking companies. Okay, he's got the okay, he's got the drum. He's the tambourine guy, and he is the bugler guy. Pretty similar, different styles of pants. So what I would like to do, what I do is normally mix it up a little bit. If I've got guys with shorts, see how like that's curled up, he's wearing boots, you know, okay, you're getting a lot of that. Okay, let's look at I don't know, France, right? Pretty impressive. You know, you're going to be doing your French homework. What kind of French are you looking at? Well, you're looking at doing a cuirassier unit. I am. The 13th. Oh, the 13th's not on here. Let's say the 12th. Right? You got first squadron and second squadron. Okay, that's kind of important. I'll get to the French in a minute and tell you that. 2 squadrons. Let's click on 1 squadron. Not sure exactly how many officers and troops are in that unit. Uniforms. There you go, and it tells you there's 2 central companies apparently. The musician, NCO, usually the sergeant and the corporal. Yeah, and these guys have pink. That's why I picked them. Because they're pink. And then it kind of shows you the pink around the saddle. And it shows you the little 12 there. On one side, different types of saddle blankets. What the swords look like, and the ammo cartridges, epaulets. Basically, it shows you all that. Alright, so let's go back to France. I wanted to show you something about line infantry. This is something I learned when I went to GMB to buy a bunch of flags. I said, you know, hey, I want the first line infantry regiment flag, right? But I saw that there were like 3 battalions, right? Okay. So if I go to 1st Battalion, now we're talking flags now. You go to battalion staff because you got 4 rifle companies, 1 grenadier company, 1 volunteer company, but then you got this battalion staff. So you click on it, boom, it shows you the flag. And I'm like, oh, that is super cool. I probably could print this out, cut it out, and fold it in half or something. I'd have to Photoshop the little this out of there, and I'd have to Photoshop this. But you could probably do it. I don't need to do that. Or order a bunch of flags. But now let's go back. I'm going to use my back arrow. Boop. And boop. Boopity boop. 2nd Corps, 6th Infantry Division, 2nd Brigade. Perfect. And they have distinctions. They fought at Wagram. Okay. And it gives you like a little bit of history that the guy knows about it. Okay, but most importantly, this is and how many men are in the 3 battalions. So you could just divide by 3 if you want to know how much per battalion. But I wanted to do 2nd Battalion. Boom. I saw this. There's 592 men, right? Okay. I went to the battalion staff. Look at that flag. They call it a Fanion. Yeah, a Fanion du Battalion. And because it's the 1st regiment, it has a 1 in there. I learned, this was something that I never knew, and I've been playing Napoleonics I've been reading books and studying, and it's just something I've overlooked. I've always made my battalions with the well, first of all, let me rephrase this. In the past, I had been playing a lot of Napoleon's battles, which doesn't get down into the battalion level. It only goes down to the brigade level. And so I was finding regimental flags, putting it on my guys. I paint them up as regiments, but I would field them as brigades. I had never gotten down to the battalion level. When I started playing Black Powder, I realized that I needed to get down to the battalion level. And this is something I just recently learned. Each battalion doesn't carry the regimental flag. Only the 1st Battalion carries the regimental flag. Each battalion after that has a fanion, and they are color-coded. The 1st Battalion is red. Okay. Let's go to 3rd Battalion. 3rd Battalion is yellow. If I was to find let's just click there, it might be faster. Okay, light infantry. I think the 2nd light, yeah, look at that, 3rd and 4th Battalion. If I click the 3rd Battalion, red, interesting, but no number. Then what is 2nd Battalion? Because I thought 2nd Battalion was red. This one's white. It might be different in the light regiments. This guy's done his work. I'm going to have to say that. Let's say 4th Battalion. Might be blue or something. Blue. I also learned that the standard poles are actually blue as well. With a the Queen's Regiment, huh? Okay. They fought at Friedland. Okay. By buying the flags, I noticed that there was like 2nd Light Infantry flag. And then on the very next page, it said 2nd Light Infantry, 2nd and 3rd Battalion Fanions. And I was like, what the hell are those? So if I wanted to be completely 100% accurate when I field my battalions when I field my battalions in a brigade on the field, the 1st Battalion should have that flag, and the 2nd and 3rd Battalions should have the fanions. Something I learned. I never knew that. Okay, jumped over to the British, right? Yeah, like let's say I was gonna, and who has a whole bunch of different colors? Hussars. Hussars are the craziest. They have way different colors. Well, maybe not in the British. British Hussars are kind of standardized, but let's look 7th Queens, different squadrons. Look at that. Is that not sexy? Okay, let's take a 10th Wales. Red blankets, hats, shakos, as you might call them. And the Busbies. Okay, so that's not as bad as the French. The French Hussars are craziness. Okay, there's not a whole lot of Hussars. See, look at that. You got these blues and reds and green blankets and look at that, completely different. Let's just make a jump. completely different. So it's KGL. Let's talk about artillery. Must have only been one artillery battery from the King's German Legion there. Got their uniform and then you notice their cartridge belts. The cartridge are actually white. They've got this red cord over their cartridge belt. Yeah, this is it. This resource is the best resource that I found. Le Uniforme Pendant la Campagne in Belgium, 1815. Okay, so that was that. Let me click Units Nations. That was Units Nations. You can ignore new arrivals and all this other stuff. The newest arrival was 2017 or something like that. So you don't really have to see that. But organizational charts, that's the only other one that I would consider looking at. Click it. There you go. It shows you at a glance the Northern Army, Netherlands Army, and the Army of the Lower Rhine. Okay, the Northern Army is Army du Nord, which is the French Army, Napoleon. The Netherlands Army is the British and Belgians and Nassau and Brunswickers. It's the mixed army. And then Army of the Lower Rhine would be the Prussians, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the Netherlands Army. There we go. Got Commander-in-Chief, Netherlands Army. It's probably Wellington. And then you've got the 1st Corps, 2nd Corps, Army Reserve, Brunswick contingent, Nassau contingent, and then the Cavalry Reserve. If you were to click on the 1st Corps, you have the 1st British Division, 3rd Division, 2nd Dutch Belgians, all that good stuff. But I'm digging deep and I want to kind of show you something. 1st British Infantry Division. Okay, there's 2 brigades. I think that's what that is telling me. That there's 2 brigades in the unit. And then there's this divisional artillery. But in this brigade, it looks, I don't know why there's only one. Maybe that's just a division is 2 and a brigade is 1. Okay, that might be the way it is. But when I open it up, let's not look at the 1st. Okay, let's not look at the 1st because that's the guards. Okay, here we go. So it says Hanover, KGL, and then 5th Infantry Brigade. Let me show you something. Okay, right here, these little symbols, the yellow, the red, the green, this is the collars, the cuffs, the uniform color. It kind of gives you a quick view of what the uniform might look like on the battlefield, right? So you got the yellows. The British 30th Foot wore yellow. The 33rd had red. The 69th and the 73rd had green, right? Okay. KGL, you had the light KGLs, which were green and black, and then the KGL line was red and blue. Hanover, right? There's a variety of different uniforms for Hanover. And if you were doing, now I'm not sure about this. I'd have to look at, I clicked it. It brought me straight to the uniform. The Bremen Battalion. Some of them are green, some of them are red, because it looks like the light unit wore red, because you see these guys are sharpshooters. And this would be like it says center companies, but I guess a portion of every center company had sharpshooters, so they would be intermixed in the units. That's not the way I would do it. The way I would do it is like make them a flank company, or 1/3 of the unit, all the skirmishers would be dressed like this. Yeah, and then I just backed up a little bit. Yeah, so they have a mix where like Grubenhagen, they're all green. Black collars and cuffs. Except for him, of course. Buglers are always crazy. See, and then it just shows black and green. Where these Jaegers, green on green. Light green on dark green. So this actually kind of helps out in a way. Dutch Belgians. Well, we looked at no, we didn't. We looked at, I don't know what we looked at. We looked at 7th Militia. But yeah, and I can tell you right now that this is pretty much the same with every Belgian unit. The line infantry are white, the militia are orange, and the Jaegers are the green and yellow. Almost always. And then there's the blue Nassaus, and there's the green in Nassaus. Yeah, it's Jaegers, line, militia. Jaegers, 3 line, couple of militia. And then you got the artillery battery. And they've got their uniforms. Yeah, so 100%. This is an excellent website. I strongly recommend it. I use it a lot now that I've discovered it. I only discovered it like 2 weeks ago. But it's helped out quite a bit. And I just wanted to share this with you, give you a little heads up. Like, this battery consisted of 6 6-pounders and 2 5.5-inch howitzers. Had this many men. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.